Right. Got a pretty cool video today, actually. So, shock horror. Well, not horror, but a shocker. New speedrunner has entered the very small flock speedrun community. About 3 runners, so now we're up to 4. And he's asked me, this new runner has asked me to analyze his run to see where he can improve. So this is gonna be a lot of fun, actually. Let's get straight into it. And first off, first thing I will say, he says the video is a bit laggy. I think it's because his recording quality is like 4K Ultra HD. Yeah, mine's never that good. If you turn that down, it might lag a little less, I think. Also, not much happens in the opening few seconds here. You can see right here, he's got foliage on. So if he turns that off, you'll also run a bit smoother, I think. And right off the bat, that's really good movement. He goes straight to the glebe. He could go a little bit more right so he gets closer to the Buells and the Cosmets of this morning, which is like up here somewhere. Forget the camera moves. So yeah, first thing, well not first thing, right here, there's 2 Buells on this pillar. And to progress to the next perch, you need 3. And this comes into play about a minute after you see these 2 here. So this was one of my runs, because I'm playing for a really fast time, I'll probably reset. But if I'm doing like no reset, or if I'm not playing for a very fast time, what you can do is you can go to a different pillar. And he goes to the Buells here. And it's good tame. Gets them perfectly. And he has to go back, so he loses a few seconds here. Whereas if he went here first, more of them usually spawn. I've never seen only 4 spawn, but I think only a minimum of 2 can spawn, I think. On each pillar. So there will always be 4 there. And then he goes here. I don't even blame him. I don't even know where this Cosmos is going. It's just like reappeared over here. There's not really much you can do about that. But like sometimes it just like teleports. I don't know what it is. But yeah, sometimes the cosmic behavior is a bit funky and it was there. But I think you'll get used to where it spawns and then you'll just be able to identify it and leave. Oh. I think he gets stuck on here. Sometimes that happens. Then he goes right to this sheep. And he executes this pretty much perfectly. He's a little bit too far right to get to the pasture. But other than that, that's brilliant. He's got that down. And he goes here and he's going to do speedy grass. Which honestly, he does that perfectly fine. I think he's got this down as well. So he's clearly been practicing a lot. He said this is like his first proper run after learning the route and stuff. So I think he's learnt this. I'm just going to fast forward here a bit because this is literally just 3 minutes. This is my next talking point. His menuing's a little slow, but you know, it is his first run. So I can't fault him. when you play the game a ton, you'll get through that in like a few seconds. And now I'm gonna skip to my next talking point, which is right here. So you can actually just leave. You can just fly the bird away from here, and that cutscene will still trigger, and you'll still get the whistle. So you don't need to be close to it. So that saves a couple seconds as well. And then he goes over here and he misses placing the sheep. And he immediately spots the cosmet and goes straight to it, which is perfect. But I feel like missing the sheep on the pasture, it just happens. Like, you'll get there. And now, what I notice here is when the cosmet spawns, you can tell where it's going from where it spawns, because it always goes to the same place based on where it spawns. And he's following it, so I don't think he knows all the paths. So that'll be a thing to look at. It's like looking at other runs and seeing where he spawns and then where he goes to. I think this does come into play a little bit later as well. See, he goes backwards and the cosmetic stays there. I think when he learns that, he'll get a lot quicker as well. There's not really much to say at the moment. And see, now we go here. And what I do is I intentionally flunk the second boost, so I can just go to the back of the pipe and get the sheep. But he does a full boost and he has to go back around. So that loses a couple seconds. But, you know, it comes with time, I feel like. It's just mechanics. And this is his first run, which is just, I don't know, it's nuts. This is kind of nuts for a first run. I think my first run was like 30 minutes slower than this. Which, like, I don't know, it kind of puts into perspective like how good this guy is. And he does mess up the route a little bit there and he goes a bit more left than he should. But, you know, again, first run. He gets the sheep, and he does the same thing that he does to the other one. He goes in front of the pipe and gets the sheep. Because you can, if you're like basically right behind the pipe, you can interact with the sheep. And it saves like a second or two. But it's like, a lot of these are just minor time saves, but they do add up. Because I've been talking about, a lot of stuff that I've been talking about is only saves a few seconds. But if he was doing it, you know, he'd have a much better time, I feel like. Because it's a lot of minor time saves. But when he learns that, he's going to fly up the leaderboards. But he knows where all the oil splodges are, I think. He goes here, and he doesn't do the mistake of flying through here, which I always used to do. So he's gone far enough right where he doesn't interact with that. Which, that's really good. And there's not really much to say for like another minute or so. And he doesn't interact with the sheep there, which you can do. I think he did do it earlier. But it is a bit temperamental, so I don't know if he's actually trying to go for that or if the game's just not letting him. Because that could be the case. Because then again, that's also a very minor time save, saves like a second or two. But when you get to going for like really fast runs, all the minor time saves are just stuff you got to be going for. But I feel like he's done really well learning the main route so far. Like, he knows where to go. I don't know, it's a really good run. Because the only things that I'm nitpicking at are like minor time saves. There's another talking point right in a second here. So he identifies these scales. So the moving ones are the ones he wants to look at. And he looks here and there isn't a moving one. Because he's getting confused by the still ones. If you turn foliage off, these still ones don't appear. So you only see these moving ones. And it just kind of helps to just know where they are. And then he goes here to be closer to where the rustic spawns. Which honestly, I think it's probably better than what I do. I think I should probably start doing that. Because then, as you can see here, he spawns really fast. He's right there. But like I said with the Cosmic, I don't think he knows where the rustic goes, because he's following where the rustic's flying to. He's not waiting for it at its next destination. And there's like 4 separate paths that this guy can go. And this is the second fastest one that he gets here, which is really good. It's really good luck. But as you can see, he's following the rustic. And it will always go to these specific places. Can't get the words out today, man. I think I'll try, if I remember, I'll put up a chart to show all the places that it goes to. And like which path is the fastest. Because this is the second fastest, so this is really good. Like if I was on record pace, like I'd be happy with this. And also what I have only just clocked is he's playing on a PS4 controller actually. Which I think he's the only person to play on the PS4 controller. And yeah, this here. Yeah, it's pretty hard to spot. I think he does just take a guess and he finds it. And then right here, as soon as you identify that, you should be going straight up to your sheep. And then you should be getting the sheep off the pasture, putting them on the other one, so it spawns in the next sheep. But he doesn't do that. He waits because he doesn't know where the rustic's going. The rustic always ends up by the pasture after that last move there. See, he doesn't stop here, and he just goes up. Because sometimes he stops there. And then he identifies them. And you see why this is a bad idea right after this. It's because when you pick the sheep up, you get the whistle to tame him. So, right after this, see, he doesn't, that little icon there that you just saw, he doesn't have the whistle to tame it, so he can't tame it. So he has to get these sheep off and get the mule out, and then put the sheep on the other pasture, and then tame the rustic, which honestly loses him about 30-40 seconds, I think. This is like the only big time save, no, time loss, I mean, that he does in this run. I think, yeah, if he hadn't done that, this would be a sub 28, I think. Oh no, he identifies it here, okay. That's fine, there's not really much you can do. So yeah, then he goes to this other pasture. Because if he doesn't go here, he can't get a 4th sheep. That's like the only major time loss that I've seen so far. Like all the other time losses were like very minor. And a lot of the stuff that he's doing, he's done well. Like he knows where to go, he knows the route, which is really good. Because that's like the foundation for this game. If you know the route and know where you're going, like you're gonna get a good time. And for a first run, this is a really good time. He goes here, and as you can see again, right before this sheep, he slows right down. Whereas if you see in my records, I just zoom over it and then just catch it as I'm going past. Which only, you know, again, saves a couple seconds, if that. But I think, yeah, when you're starting out, it's better to be safe than sorry. Going for all these minor time saves, it's It's going to get you faster time, but it's also going to get you more resets. And then this right here is perfect. He places the sheep on that, which I sometimes even miss time myself. There he goes to the sprug. He identifies that. It's pretty standard. And then he waits for the sheep. Then right here, he doesn't take the sheep off, which actually does save like a second or two, because you have your sheep and then the Buell appears slightly quicker. But yeah, this is all pretty standard. And he picks up the sheep and he goes to this sprog here, which loses a couple seconds because he's got to backtrack to the other one. Whereas if he went to the other one first and then this one, it would save a couple seconds. So now he has to go all the way back here and then he has to go back. Whereas, because he had to go forward basically to get the first one. So he went backwards and then forward, it would save a couple seconds. But then again, like the only things he's really losing time on are very minor. And they'll kind of just come with time. And there as well, if you come at this sprog from a certain angle, you don't interact with these thrips. And that also just saves like a couple seconds. And then, as I said earlier, his route's perfectly fine. He knows where he's going, he knows where the sprogs are. And now he's got all 5 of them and he's going back to the cave to summon the skyfish. There he is. And then, like with the other 2 boss creatures, I don't think he knows where it can spawn. I'll try and remember to pop on screen all the places that he can spawn. Because he's just following the sound, basically. Yeah, and he hears it, and he's in here. And this happens again. He's waiting to see where he goes. And it's from his left. But this is a pretty, like, obscure spot, so he doesn't really know where he is. And he sees this, I think. Yeah, and he hears it. And he knows it's in there. But if you know where he can go, you can just guess. Because where he hides is random. But you don't need to hear those like little sound waves in order to identify him. So like in a lot of my top runs, I just guess where he goes. I always guess the fastest path, because if he takes the fastest path, it's massive time save. And then, yeah, he knows where he goes last, because he always goes to the same place last. He always goes here. That's good knowledge. I say, I'm really surprised. This is so good for a first run. I can't stress that enough. Like, for a first run, this is just insane. He's probably done, like, a couple test runs before. This is, like, a first, like, actual attempt. Then, yeah, not much to say here. Apart from he stays close to the skyfish after he's identified it, which is an old strat, because we thought if you stayed close to it, it wouldn't trigger the skyfish glitch that kills all your runs. But nah, just uninstalling and reinstalling the game does that. So you can just leave the skyfish. And also, he goes straight to the water towers. Whereas if you went left and round, like this way, you'd actually see there's a couple boost pads. And it does save about 3 seconds, I think. It's nothing crazy, but it's still just like a little minor time save. And now the end game. So we're very close to the end of the run now. And this bit of movement right here is perfect. He executes this perfectly. So really good start to the end game. And then we'll just go skip through here because it just takes like a minute or so. And he doesn't take the sheep off. And then he gets this little bug where he can't go backwards. Because this has happened to me a few times. And it just loses time, which is just really unfortunate. There's nothing he can do about it. And then he pauses for like a second there. I don't know why. To get the sheep. And then he follows. See him there. There's the Buell. I think he thought the little red thing was him, and then he saw him in his peripheral. It's just like the other creatures, as I was saying. If you memorize the paths that they take, and this guy only ever takes one path. If you memorize where they go, it becomes so much more trivial when you're doing other runs. But I think like that is the only thing this guy really needs to take away from this. It's just learn the patterns. I feel like it's just learn the patterns of the boss creatures. And then this is also a bit unfortunate here. He lags and he goes over it instead of under it. Whereas if you go under it, also saves a few seconds. But I think he is trying to do that. Which is, again, good knowledge. Really good knowledge. He's clearly looked at the other runs. Because this isn't like my first attempt where I was just like completely clueless. And then that's the end. And it finishes as here, 28-24. Also, I've never seen the loading screen lag like this. That's really weird. But anyway, 28-24, just to put that into perspective, I've got speedrun.com page up. If we have a look. If we go here. We are on 80. He's about halfway between the first record and the last for his first run. That just puts into perspective how utterly ridiculous this is for a first run. This is genuinely nuts. I think I don't know. I think he's a prodigy. I think he's going to go far. Also, his name, Hatsune Pikuniku. I don't think I even mentioned it. That's a hilarious name. I wish I was that creative with my usernames. That's well funny. But yeah, anyway, that's an analysis of his 28-24. Very good run. Really good run. I think it's still improvable on though. I think he can go far. So, yeah. That's the video.